Today's episode is presented by Lodestar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lodestar's Lending Leaders. My name is Alayna Gardner, AMP, and this week I'm joined by Nick Friedman. He is the president at Homelight. So thank you, Nick, so much for joining me. And I'm going to start off by asking you a very basic question, which is, how did you end up in mortgage?
Awesome. Thanks, Alayna. And thanks for the very basic question to begin. It's a little bit of a complicated answer, but I'll try to give you the short version. So I was in college in the Northeast up in Massachusetts, and I didn't really know anything about mortgage. My parents are both physicians, and I'm scared at the sight of blood. So I decided I do not want to go into healthcare. I was studying math and economics. And I met a friend up in college, and we decided to go and figure out a way to beat roulette wheels. That was our big project. And so we went to casinos. We would take down numbers on roulette wheels. We would determine if there's a bias to any roulette wheel, and then we would bet accordingly. So we did this for a while, and we realized that it was awesome. We had some success, but at the same time, we realized that there's a lot of inefficiencies involved in a lot of industries, not just gambling and a roulette wheel. And so we kind of took some of the things that we learned just from working together there, and we decided to drop out of college completely and go try to do this to a big industry, right? Can you take any inefficiencies you find in a big industry and allow clients or consumers to benefit from that? And so we decided to pick real estate and mortgage just because it affected the most people the fastest. And we spent 2 years basically failing miserably, learning all the ways not to help people in a real estate or a mortgage transaction. But in 2018, we kind of landed on an idea that made sense, grew that idea over the course of 4 years, ended up building a company called Accept Inc., which we eventually sold to Homelight. And now for the last 3 years, I've been in Homelight kind of growing our core product, which is in the mortgage and real estate space.
Absolutely, yeah. And from what we can tell, it seems like that product is kind of the buy before you sell type of solution.
Yes.
I know this is a roadblock facing many borrowers today. Seller contingencies are not exactly something that a homeowner wants to put when they're putting an offer in on a house in a competitive market. So how does that solution actually work in the fundamentals?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really, I think, two main things that we do to accomplish these transactions. And what we see is clients come in and they don't have the money that they need to buy their next house, right? They haven't saved it up necessarily. It's all stuck in their existing property. So what Homelight does is we actually take the funds from the existing property and give them to the client so they can use for a down payment on their next home, right? So all of a sudden that client now has the ability to take out funds from their existing property, go buy their next one, and have that down payment they need. The second thing that we do is we actually place an offer on the client's existing property. And by doing that, what we're able to do is remove the client's existing mortgage liability from their qualification for their next property, right? So today, in order to qualify for a home, a lot of clients can't qualify with their existing mortgage payment, the new mortgage payment, and potentially a bridge loan payment in the middle. What we do at Homelight is we allow them to remove that existing mortgage payment. We remove any sort of payments associated with the bridge loan. It's a 0% loan, and they go buy their next home without any contingency on their property. So all of a sudden you have a great offer with no contingency, you have the money you need to buy your house, and you have the ability to qualify with your loan officer to purchase that next property.
Yeah, so that's definitely a cool solution, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in it, especially in this new market. Shifting online, a huge part of your LinkedIn presence is reposting other people's content and cheering on. How do you think in the industry we can do better at encouraging one another online? This is something I'm personally very passionate about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a lot of time that we spend on the phones daily especially in this industry, on the phones daily with loan officers, agents, clients, et cetera. It's hard to make time for it, for sure. But I do think that the best way to learn is from what other people are doing. Right. And you can pick up little pieces of information just from what people are posting online. I love looking especially at new product launches, new funding rounds for companies that are coming out of Y Combinator or similar accelerators, right? That are just doing very unique things. And I'm always very, very surprised about how many tools or things are out there that can help us grow personally, and also just like other companies as well. And so I think that the best way and the best thing that I've done throughout my career is reach out to as many people as I can who are building very interesting tools. And you'd be surprised, especially on LinkedIn, that the response is very, it's a very high percentage. I get responses from all sorts of people. I meet all these people, and I've learned over time that that is the best way to kind of optimize your products and also help others optimize theirs, right? And so I would say just encourage it, despite the fact that we're extremely busy all the time. I try to take the time to do that a little bit every day, and I think everyone should as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing to have an aspect of community online. I personally, post pretty regularly, so it's definitely something I think I've gotten a lot out of personally. And one of the questions our team found on your LinkedIn profile is profitable hypergrowth an oxymoron or not? Watch and see, which is quite the statement. Yeah. So what does that mean to you, right? Like what?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the biggest, I guess the way that I view it is there's really a kind of a big line between profitability and growth. In the past, everyone has kind of pushed towards growth, especially in venture-backed companies of, hey, grow at all costs, doesn't matter, like spend millions of dollars on whatever you need to do in order to get the job done. And that has shifted a lot recently to, but also you need to be profitable, right? Or as close to profitable, or have some sort of path to profitability that's a much shorter term goal. So I always say there's some inflection point between profitability and growth. And if you can hit that point of actually being able to build a product that is useful, that people like, but also not having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get it off the ground, you've really hit some critical point. I say too, I could offer our product for free today and we could grow like crazy, right? Like I could have everybody in the country using this product tomorrow if it literally costs nothing. If we were just giving people free money, we were putting free offers on properties, right? It would work really well and everyone would use it, right? And so that is one side of the spectrum. Obviously that's the extreme, but that is one side of the spectrum. The other side is I could say, hey, we're only going to give this to the most perfect people, right? 800 credit score, like, the home has to be cookie cutter, perfect home with no issues at all. All of a sudden you limit your pool to very, very few people, right? And so I think the idea is how do you find that middle ground where you can still grow the company really fast, but at the same time you're doing it in a much more sustainable way. And I think that's a very hard problem to solve for any company, especially in the financial services space, especially in mortgage. But that is what we are working towards and have been doing for the last couple of years here at Homelight.
Yeah, I mean, we get to brag a little bit about that. We're fully independently held, so we are profitable. We have been for the last few years, and that's something that I know not a lot of people in the mortgage space get to say. Absolutely. So we really. It's definitely a different thing, right? Because we don't have venture capital, we don't have investment backing, and being bootstrapped is definitely. There's challenges that come with that, right? I lead the sales and marketing team. I don't have the budgets of some of my competitors, but at the same time, it's also a fun challenge to get to solve for.
Absolutely.
Makes you be creative.
100%.
Well, as we wrap up here, we're going to go ahead and ask our big question, our favorite question. So a lodestar is a guiding light in the night sky. Who or what is your lodestar, personally or professionally, in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And this may be a cliche answer. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard it before.
I've heard lots of answers. Lots of people say cliche when they start, and I'm like, okay.
And then you're like, this is not cliche at all. So for me, it's Kobe Bryant. And there's a reason why, and I think it's interesting. I grew up, obviously, during the time that I grew up, Kobe was playing a lot. And I think that one thing that I love about kind of what he brought to basketball was he wasn't just a really good basketball player. It was, the whole Mamba mentality and all of that he brought was kind of what inspired me and a lot of things that I do. And so when I was in high school, I decided to beatbox as my main thing that I pursued. And I realized that in order to be a really good beatboxer, I needed to just hone in on it, learn it as best as possible and practice it all the time, and not take no for an answer as far as actually going out and doing shows and performances and all this stuff. Right. And that was kind of the first thing that I applied it to. And I think that the idea of being the first one in and the last one out to whatever you're doing has applied to pretty much every aspect of my life. When I was building Accept, even at Homelight, you can ask anyone on the team, right? I'm the person who's there always in the mornings, in the afternoons, at night, just trying to make this thing better. And I think the idea of being obsessed with something is very exciting to me. Just being able to say, hey, I'm going to immerse myself in this one thing and do it better than anybody else can figure out how to do it. I love that. It's very inspiring. And that's kind of why I chose Kobe. And I think that he really just kind of immersed himself and obsessed himself with something. He had one goal, which was to be the best at it that he could. And I think that my job with whatever I do in life, I do want to do that the best that I can and the best that we can do to serve as many clients as possible in the case of Homelight. And so that's what excites me. And that's, I think, who my lodestar would be.
Well, I can definitely say that no one's answered Kobe before. So you don't,
Okay.
that's definitely not a cliche answer in any way, shape, or form. Awesome. Well, as we wrap up here today, Nick, if people want to find you online, where can they find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so you can go to lenders.homelight.com. I'll put the link I'm sure in the show notes as well. And then I can give out a couple email addresses as well down there too, if they want to just kind of reach out. I'm also on LinkedIn, obviously, so feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well, and I can connect you with whoever it might be that you're interested in talking to within the team, or if you want to talk with me, I'm always happy to meet as well.
Well, thank you guys all so much for listening and watching today. And thank you so much, Nick, for coming on and having this wonderful conversation with me.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you all next week.